Hello everyone. I know the title to this video is Christmas Story Time at the Fayette County Library. And I'm sure that it's plainly obvious, excuse me, my allergies. It's plainly obvious that I'm not in the library. Thing is, I have an answer as to why I'm not. It's very, very interesting what happened. This has gone from a coverage report of the story time at the library to a review of the story time at the library. I got to the library and I walked in with my press pass and my camera, and I asked them where the story time would be and told them that I was with Junk Rens and that I was here to cover the story time, to get a few shots. And the lady said, "Okay, just don't scare the children." And I went back after I left and I related this to a couple of individuals, and they gave strange looks like, "Don't scare the children? What would scare the children about photography?" Then, and I'm going to finish the story before I give my opinion. When I was getting things set up, to film, the very same lady that said not to scare the children came over and said, "You're going to have to move your camera because we don't have permission from the parents to film the children." And so we'd have to talk with the director. Rather than put up with the hassle, because I am suffering from burnout from all the holiday goings on, I just took my leave. I wrote down my information and I told her, "I'll take my leave, but here's the information so that you can verify that we are a legitimate media outlet." She said that in her saying that we did not have permission to record the children, she said, "I don't even know if your press pass is real. I could print out a press pass at my house." Well, first off, let's take a look at some of the facts. The facts are, and I have on the back of my press pass here, First Amendment of the Bill of Rights. "Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof," that's freedom of religion, "or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press," that's me, exercising both of those rights, "or the right of the people to peaceably assemble and to petition the government for redress of grievances." The last time I checked, we live in America. We live in a free country. We live in a land, in a country where that anyone with the willpower and the means to do so can set up their own media outlet, their own blog, their own YouTube channel, anything. And in the process of researching what it would take to start up my own information hub, like I said, I did research into it. I found out that there are 3 types of press passes. three types. Number one, we're going to look at the press pass that is given by police departments to media outlets to cover crime scenes. Those are generally very exclusive, and the police do not like to give those out. But then there are event-exclusive passes that are valid for that said event, and those are given out by the event coordinators to the media to cover said event. Generally, these take place in private clubs. They can be in other areas as well. But then lastly, in this type of press pass that I have, it grants no authority, it grants no special privilege, it just helps to identify. And these type of press passes are basically printed off and distributed to the reporters from a media outlet. For example, MSNBC would in-house print their own press pass, make it, laminate it, and give it to one of their own reporters. Like I said, it grants no special privilege, it grants no special access. Anyone can start up their own media outlet, and anyone can make a press pass from that media outlet for themselves even. It helps to identify you as being part of the press. Now, I also did some research into the photographer's right. Your rights and remedies when stopped or confronted for photography. Now, this would also apply to filming. And I'm going to not read the whole deal here, but I'm going to read a section. The general rule. The general rule in the United States is that anyone may take photographs of whatever they want when they are in a public place or places where they have permission to take photographs. Absent a specific legal prohibition, such as a statute or ordinance, you are legally entitled to take photographs. Examples of places that are traditionally considered public are streets, sidewalks, and public parks. Property owners may legally prohibit photography on their premises, but have no right to prohibit others from photographing their property from other locations. Whether you need permission from property owners to take photographs while on their premises depends on the circumstances. In most places, you may reasonably assume that taking photographs is allowed and that you do not need explicit permission. However, this is a judgment call, and you should request permission when the circumstances suggest that the owner is likely to object. In any case, when a property owner tells you not to take photographs while on the premises, you are legally obligated to honor the request. Some exceptions to the rule. There are some exceptions to the general rule. Significant one is that commanders of military installations can prohibit photographs of specific areas when they deem it necessary to protect national security. The U.S. Department of Energy can also prohibit photography of designated nuclear facilities although the publicly visible areas of nuclear facilities are usually not designated as such. Members of the public have a very limited scope of privacy rights when they are in public places. Let me read that again. Members of the public have a very limited scope of privacy rights when they are in public places. Basically, anyone can be photographed without their consent, except when they have secluded themselves in places where they have a reasonable expectation of privacy, such as dressing rooms, restrooms, medical facilities, and inside their homes. Not talking about a public library. Permissible subjects. Despite misconceptions to the contrary, the following subjects can almost always be photographed lawfully from public places: accident and fire scenes, children, celebrities, bridges and other infrastructure, residential and commercial buildings, industrial facilities and public utilities, transportation facilities, airports for example, Superfund sites, criminal activities, law enforcement officers. And it says who is likely to violate your rights. Most confrontations are started by security guards and employees of organizations who fear photography. The most common reason given is security, but often such persons have no articulated reason. Security is rarely a legitimate reason for restricting photography. Taking a photograph is not a terrorist act, nor can a business legitimately assert that taking a photograph of a subject in public view infringes on its trade secrets. And then it starts getting into law enforcement and how they can actually detain you but not arrest you for filming. And then this is from lawyers.com. Child photography or videotaping consent laws are changing. With the increasing amount of reliance on the spot videotaping or picture taking, the rules of consent are evolving, especially for children. Basically, with few exceptions, it's perfectly legal for strangers to photograph or videotape your child, and they're free to post or publish the images as well. Parents do not have to give their consent or sign a release. However, some states have passed legislation to change that, and school districts do take steps to protect their children. Editorial use is okay. The legal loophole that allows publishing and circulation of photographs and video images of children is the First Amendment, what I just read off my press pass. It protects both freedom and expression and freedom of the press. Freedom of expression, and freedom of the press, as long as the photographer uses the images for editorial purposes, and if he took them while your child was in a public setting, example given of a public library during story time, they're within the law even if you don't give your consent. They are within the law even if you don't give your consent. Exceptions may exist if the photos or recordings include sexual overtones. Somehow I really doubt that story time at a public library is going to have sexual overtones. School districts protect children. States and municipalities have the right to make their own laws regarding issues such as photographing children. School districts can restrict filming and photography on the grounds of the use of images without parental consent. However, some schools might not prohibit group photos if the photographer doesn't identify any of the children when he publishes them, or photos of certain extracurricular activities such as sporting events. As of 2012, at least 2 states have considered legislation to make it illegal to photograph children without parental permission. Georgia passed a bill in 2010 that makes it illegal for anyone but a parent to photograph or videotape a child. But the law may be revised to specifically address registered sex offenders. New Jersey began working on similar law in 2011. Other laws may apply. Some other state and federal laws might apply if anyone photographs or films your child without your knowledge or permission. Now, what other laws might apply? Your child has the same right to privacy as an adult does. No one can photograph or film your child in a location where he believes he's alone, even if he's alone with his friends. For example, if he's in the sandbox at a public park, he or she can be videotaped. They can be recorded. They can be photographed. If they're in a public library, they can be photographed. They can be recorded. But if it was to be your child playing in the sandbox, as the example that they give in the article, in the privacy of your backyard, peeping Tom can't climb over the fence and take a photograph or shoot video camera. And that's pretty much it. Then it gives information about a child's rights lawyer can help. So, with that being said, the Fayette County Library not only violated my freedom of speech, my freedom of expression, and the freedom of the press. Yes, they violated my rights. But they also showed how that they are not in support of small local business. Now, I could really dig into them if I was angry. If I was angry. We're at Christmas time, and there's a movie that comes out around Christmas, or that comes on around Christmas. Some channels. It's called The Family Man. And in it, Don Cheadle plays a magical being that provides a glimpse to Nicolas Cage's character of what life would be like in an alternate reality. It's kind of like a different take on It's a Wonderful Life, with Don Cheadle playing as the angel. And one scene really comes to mind right now. And in that scene, Don Cheadle's character brings in a lottery ticket to a curb market, and he tries to cash in the winning lottery ticket. And he's all excited. He's like, yeah, it's a winner. Well, the clerk gets nervous and says, you can't cash that ticket here. It's no good. And things get out of hand. I'm not going to spoil the movie for you, but he and Nicolas Cage, Nick Cage's character, make a deal. But what Don Cheadle's character does is very interesting. He looks at that clerk on the way out and he says, you screwed up. You had your shot. You could have really made it big. Well, to the Somerville Library, the Fayette County Library, you screwed up. You had a great shot for some free PR. Some good free PR. I was going to get there and I was going to take a couple of photographs of the story time, do a couple of panoramic shots, no more than 5 minutes of videotaping. And I was going to come back to my office and upload the last video of 2014, Christmas story time at the Fayette County Library. And it was going to be, look at what the library does for the community. Everybody come down and support your local library. But no, I have to get on camera and I have to explain to everyone how not only you violated my rights, but I have to get on camera and I have to explain to everyone on how that here's someone trying to start up a business to bring more business and more revenue into Fayette County, and you don't want to support them. Man, you could have made it big, but you screwed up. I'm not angry. I'm disappointed. I'm very disappointed. But am I going to encourage people to not support the library? No. I encourage people to support the library. I encourage them to do so. It's a good service to the community. But as to whether that they will support you or not after seeing this video, that's up to them. There's an old saying, give someone enough rope and they'll hang themselves. I'm not getting on here and I'm not bashing you. I'm not going to tell people to stay away from the library. In fact, I want people to go to the library. I want people to support the library. I'm not going to bash you. I've told the truth. I told what happened. And I explained how that it was wrong. And that's all that has to be said. You dug your own hole on this. This went from what was going to be coverage of something positive to an explanation and an editorial. An explanation and an opinion editorial. An opinion review. That I have to be objective. And I have to be honest. I can't sit here and give you a good review when there was no good review to give. Well, this is the last video of 2014, and I hate it that it went out on a damper. I was hoping that it would go out on something good. You know, but what can I say? I can't help what happened. It is just my hope that the Fayette County Library will take this video and that they will learn from it. Take the experience, learn from it. Learn about what a photographer's rights are, a filmmaker's rights. Learn to not violate them. Learn the laws, learn the exceptions to the laws. And support local businesses. Support the future. Don't alienate it. Alright, everyone. This is the last video of 2014. I have some personal things I have to take care of. And I have the wedding, mine and Brittany's wedding, that I have to go to. Boy, that sounded horrible. Have to go to my own wedding. I'm looking forward to it, actually. But it's... what can I say is I have things that I have to do, and so we're going to be on hiatus for a while. We will be back up and running again with I am going to shoot some videos. Excuse me, over the hiatus. So I will have them that I can edit them. I'll get them edited over the hiatus as well. Have them ready to upload. I'm going to have them ready to upload. And so 2015, I'm looking forward to a good 2015. And we will come back to y'all with the videos uploaded around mid-2015. Not mid-2015, mid-January 2015, excuse me. And so this is Will for Junk Wrens. Last video of 2014. Everyone, Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Whatever holiday that you celebrate, happy holidays. Have a great New Year's. Keep safe. Don't party too hard. And don't get into too much trouble. This is Junk Rens signing out.